Morning. It's 1:40 Central Time. I'm in Urbandale, Iowa, going over to Nebraska City, Nebraska. Got an appointment this morning, drop part of this load off, and then go to Albuquerque. But anyway, I wanted to address. I've seen numerous videos on the ELDs and hours of service. Ike Stevens does them. I don't know. Other people have done them, but back in July, Ike did one. Said that need to get rid of the 14-hour rule and the 70-hour rule. Now, I saw where he was asked yesterday about the 14 and the 70-hour rule, and the only thing he said was they need to get rid of the 70-hour rule. Okay. There was also a question about how they didn't have these rules back when he started driving in, I guess, 2000 or something. And at one point, I guess he explained that the difference was that instead of a 14-hour rule, there was a 15-hour rule. And I don't know, I started driving in 96, excuse me. And I seem to remember that there was a 70-hour rule then. I also seem to remember that there wasn't a 34-hour reset. And the only way that you got a full 70-hour clock, basically, was to take a week off. I don't know, back then you had to take an 8-hour break instead of a 10-hour break. So we're talking about a difference of 3 hours in a day? If 3 hours in a day driving is going to make you or break you, you probably need to find a new job. But that's not the point of this video. The point of this video is that, one, ELDs aren't an issue. ELDs actually benefit the driver, in my opinion, because I say that based on my experience with paper logs. And my experience with paper logs was a year as a company driver, a year as an owner-operator leased to the same company I was a owner-operator, or I was a company driver with. And then several years as an owner-operator driving leased on to small companies, having my own truck trailer, run flatbeds. And what you ran into back then, because it was paper, was that 90% of the time you falsified your logs and you ran illegal. And you didn't do it because you weren't making enough money. You did it because, well, as in the flatbed business anyway, the problem was that you could get unloaded in the morning at 7, 8 o'clock in the morning. Then you'd sit around and maybe wait for a load that didn't pick up till 3 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon. And in my case, the companies that I dealt with were basically running southeast Midwest. And it had to be 500-600 miles away the next morning at 6 a.m. So you cheated. You falsified your logs and showed that you unloaded in the morning and got reloaded in the morning and then got your 8-hour break in, and then you drove all night to get where you were going. It was all a lie. Everybody knew it was a lie. But that's the way it was done. The other part was, yes, you only had an 8-hour break. And, companies would want to know why. If you slept 9 hours, why? Why'd you do that? You're required to take an 8-hour break. Why didn't you start driving when your 8-hour break was up? So, my thing with ELDs are they stop the companies, they stop the brokers from pushing you further than you really should be going or want to go or are capable of going. Now, it's all well and fine to say, but we should be able to choose. Well, yeah, you should. And yeah, you can tell them for safety you're shutting down. But we all know in this industry there are a lot of weak-minded, weak personality people who will do whatever they're asked to do or told to do, however you want to put it. And the companies will push you as far as they legally can. So that's the way that is. Now, as far as the 14-hour rule, I don't see where there's that much difference between 14 and 15 hours. It's an hour a day. If an hour a day stops you from making enough money to support your families, then you probably ought to find something else to do. That's pretty simple. The 70-hour rule. Everybody's argument with the 70-hour rule is, well, there's nobody in any other job that they stop from working. They can work as many hours as they want, blah, 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 blah. Okay. You're right. There probably isn't a rule anywhere, and I'll just surrender to that one. We are the only industry that limits you to working 70 hours without taking a day off. Now, the question I keep asking, and I've heard other people ask this question, but nobody in the trucking industry, no drivers in the trucking industry, want to answer the question, or are capable of answering the question, or know the answer to the question. And that is, how many people do you know that work 70 hours a week for 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks at a time, year-round? How many? I know none. I know people that complain if they have to work on a day off and it's overtime, and they're getting paid time and a half, but they complain about having to work overtime. So I don't understand why we would want to be able to work, I don't know, throw a number out there. How many hours in a week do we want to work? 100? 120? 80? 90? I don't know. I think 70 is enough. And you know how many weeks I actually drive 70 hours? Or do 70 hours on duty and driving? None. None. Matter of fact, I try to drive about 9 hours a day. I try to take a 12-hour break every day. Why do you want to come out here and drive 11 hours every day? Why do you want to come out here and stay up for 18 hours a day just because you haven't used your 11 yet and drive? The other question is, if there's no 14-hour rule or 15-hour rule, what is there? You can do 11 hours on duty and driving in 24 hours. Okay? Then how long of a break do you have to take and sleep or rest? 6? 5? You see, Everybody wants the rules to conform to what they want/can do. The rules really aren't set up for the individual. They're set up for an industry. And as we all know, most of these 400-pound fat bastards probably can't stay up 20 hours. So the rule has to be reasonable, and it has to fit the industry as a whole, not the individual. So what are you going to do? I mean, over the years, the rules have evolved. We've all said that. In '95, when I started driving, there was no reset. I still don't do resets unless I absolutely have to. That's 34 hours you're sitting, not making any money. Whereas if I drive 5 hours, at least I made 5 hours worth of mileage pay, percentage pay in my case. But I try to work my hours, manage your time. I manage mine to where I can run at least 8 hours every day. It works out pretty good. Usually I can run 8 to 9. Okay, just like now. I just came out of the house, I don't know, 2 days ago. Friday. And I'll be out until Thanksgiving, my choice. But I won't do a 34-hour reset during this time. You don't need to if you manage your hours. You don't need to drive 11 hours every day if you manage your time. If you set your appointments. Like me, I picked up this load, okay? I got this load, I got unloaded, I don't know, I was in Ohio. Streetsboro. Okay, I unloaded there Sunday morning. Sunday morning? Yep, Sunday morning. Sat around till 10, got this load, had to drive, I don't know, 200 and some miles to Plainwell, Michigan. Pick this load up. So I went up there, picked it up, went down, I don't know, 3-4 blocks, parked in a little truck stop, took a 10-hour break. Took off. Drove yesterday, drove 7 hours and 53 minutes. Stopped here in Urbandale, Iowa. I've got, 169 miles to go to make a delivery at 7:30 this morning. It is almost 2 now. And I'll be there. Then I'll take off from there and I'll drive, I don't know, another 5-6 hours, which will put me between 8 and 9 hours. And I'll shut down. Then I'll get up 2 o'clock tomorrow morning. That'll be what, Wednesday? Yeah. Drive until, probably 2 in the afternoon, 3 in the afternoon. And be in Albuquerque, where I need to be on Thursday morning to deliver. At, 6 a.m. I think it is. So I'll get more than a 12-hour break there. So, the hours of service are very manageable. We complain about, not me, drivers complain about there's no parking now. Well, I'm sitting here looking at a full truck stop with trucks parked everywhere at 2 in the morning. And why is that? Because everybody wants to drive during the day. You know how much trouble I have finding a parking place at 2 or 3 o'clock in the afternoon? None. You know how long I had to wait to take a shower here a little bit ago? Didn't. You know how long I had to wait to get waited on in the restaurant? Didn't. So, maybe the problem isn't the hours of service or the ELDs. It's time management. Your time management. Or your lack of time management. If you want to work banker's hours, go to work at a bank. Go to work at Walmart. I don't know. If you can't make enough money with the hours of service, you probably need to find another job, because the hours of service have been pretty much the way they are, with 2 exceptions. The 15-hour rule and the reset. Since 96 that I know of. And you know what? In 96 they complained about the hours of service. In 2017, they're complaining about the hours of service. What's changed? 15-hour rule went to 14. 8-hour rule went to 10. And you can do a 34-hour reset. 3 changes. Not big changes. The reset's a good thing. The 10-hour rule is a good thing. You can get 8 hours sleep, get a meal, and get a shower in your 10-hour break, where you used to have to do all that in 8. So I don't know. The other thing Ike mentioned in his video, I guess there's Eclipse, Operation Eclipse. Everybody's supposed to shut down next week one day. I don't know what it is. At noon Pacific time. And it's funny because they had to put out a chart letting all the drivers know what time it would be in each time zone when it's noon on the West Coast. Wow. We can't tell time. Somebody has to write it down for us, let us know. Now the deal is everybody's supposed to shut down for an hour, and that's not going to affect, the industry. It's not going to affect the money you make. It's not going to affect you unless that's when you're supposed to be delivering or something, I guess. But if you don't have to deliver, they want everybody to sit down. Shut down, excuse me. Here's my question. Where are they going to park? That's a complaint you hear from everybody. There's not enough parking. So, if all the trucks in America shut down at noon Pacific time on a day, where are they going to park? Ain't enough parking spaces in rest areas, truck stops. What are they going to do? It'll be another fail. Like the deal with the Washington, D.C. thing. It's not the first Washington, D.C. thing that was a fail last week. They fail all the time. They fail all the time because nobody out here is Jimmy Hoffa. They can't get everybody to organize. Fact. If you want a union job, go get a union job. And you'll have something to complain about there, because that's what drivers do, complain. So, just, don't be crazy. Get rid of the 14-hour rule. Why? 14 hours is more than enough time in a day for me to want to work. You want to stay up 20 hours and work? Go get a job where you can do that. You don't like hours of service that have been around since before you probably got in this industry? Why'd you get in it? Why are you in it now? And don't let them tell you. This is another video I saw. How I find the perfect job in trucking. Now, this is from a man who is on working for his 3rd company since January of this year. He hasn't found the perfect company yet. The perfect company doesn't exist. As I have said in previous videos, you aren't family to a company. You're really not. You're a tool, like a truck, like a trailer. You're a tool. You are here to produce revenue for the company. And if you don't do that, you'll be gone. If you cost them money by having accidents, being late, blah, 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 you'll be gone. You're not family. Yeah, some companies treat you better than other companies. But don't confuse being treated well with being family. You're not family. You're a tool. I know you think you're more than that. Everybody wants to be more than that. But you're a tool. If you're a truck driver, you're a tool. If you're a salesman on a car lot, you're a tool. If you make hamburgers at McDonald's, you're a tool. To those companies, to those managers, you're a tool. You're there to produce revenue. Make them money. Now in the interim, they're going to pay you. But if you don't like what you're getting paid, if you don't like the hours that you work, your option is to quit. Or go find Jimmy Hoffa to organize you. Because until that happens, until Jimmy comes back, you're not going to organize the drivers. They've been trying it since '95 and it hasn't worked. So I don't think that Ike or Little Dog or, I don't know, anybody out here, this guy that did the thing, Gunny, who did the deal in Washington, D.C., who pretty much sounds like an idiot, they haven't done it. So until you come up with a plan that's really, really good, all you have is complaints. Until you present that plan to the people that make the rules, and they say, yeah, you know what, you got a valid point here, all you got is a complaint. It's time to stop complaining. Do your friggin' job, make your money. If you're not happy with your job, if you're not happy with the hours you work, if you're not happy with the money you make, you have an option. It's called find another job. Pretty easy. The guys who don't want ELDs, don't want them because they don't want to have to run legal. They don't want to get caught running illegally on electronic logs, and they know that's what'll happen. Sorry. I mean, what other reason is there not to want them? Hours of service, they've been amended. They've been amended while I was been in the industry. But now we're complaining about them. Still, 70-hour rules existed. Like I said, 3 things have changed in the hours of service since Ike Stevens, me, a bunch of people started. 8-hour break went to 10. That's a good thing in my opinion. 15 went to 14. Okay, I don't know. What's the difference now? Make it 15, I don't really care. And then the reset. I guess that's a good thing for people who can't manage their time. They can do a reset. I can manage my time, I don't need a reset. I'm running on recap hours. Okay. Manage your time better. You'll get more recap hours back. You can't look down the road and see, hey, in 4 days I'm only getting 5 hours back. I need to roll some hours over between now and then so I can make that a 8-hour day, 9-hour day, whatever. Pretty easy. Oh darn, I can only drive 6 hours a day, then I gotta wait till midnight when I get 10 back. Okay, do your laundry. I mean, I don't get it. I don't understand the complaints. It's not limiting your income. The rules now compared to 15 years ago, it's not limiting your income. You can work the same amount of hours every week. And I still want somebody to tell me how many people I know that work over 70 hours a week. Tell me how many people you know that work over 50 hours a week every week. I bet there's nobody out there, nobody, that can name 10 people that are hourly wage employees, not in management, that work over 50 hours a week. Every week. Every week. So, take it for what it's worth. I don't know. Maybe it ain't worth anything, in my opinion. Anyway, thumbs up, thumbs down, leave a comment. I don't care. I don't ban nobody. I don't block nobody. If you disagree with me, you just disagree with me. It's not the end of the world. I don't consider you a troll, an asshole, whatever. I don't care. You can disagree. It's all right. I'm a big boy, and I've learned over the years that not everybody agrees with me. I also understand that there are people out there that are just rocks and will never understand anything. And I understand there are people out there that will argue just to argue. But until you come up with a really, really, really good reason to change the hours of service, I don't see the government changing them. I don't see anybody changing them. You can't compete with their sleep studies. I mean, you can't compete with any of the stats they have. You have no stats. You have no studies. You have an opinion. You know what they say about opinions? Opinions are like assholes. Everybody has one. Maybe I'm one. I don't know. Anyway, everybody have a great day. If you drive for a living, be safe. If you don't, hey, remember, good stuff comes on trucks. So they say. Bye-bye now.